Today we're going to talk about job interviewing questions. And I mention this to you a lot. I always look at the chat from our live shows, and what I noticed the last week or two, we did a couple live shows last week, and I noticed there was like these little clusters throughout the chat of tricky interview questions that you were getting asked. Like, if we hired you, why would we fire you? Or why would you not want to work here? Things of that nature. These negative questions that often make your stomach, kind of turn into knots. Maybe you get a pit in the stomach. But don't you worry. I have a bulletproof formula that will work for all of these. We're going to run through a handful of them. And I want to just talk with you about what to do whenever you encounter one of these. So the first thing is there are different kinds of these tricky questions. And, when I was looking for how I wanted to articulate the formula for you, I have thought about these tricky questions in the past, and I think the hardest ones to answer are the ones that are negative in nature. So I've come up with a few years back, I came up with a formula that I think works every single time whenever you encounter these. And I want to explain what that is, and I want you to think automatically every time I get asked a negative question, this is the formula I need to follow. And let's talk about some of the different types of negative questions. So I think one of them is a negative question about you, but they're involved. And so what do I mean by that? Well, it's something that's negative about you in relation to the employer you're interviewing with. So you and they are part of the question. And so what do I mean? And what do I want you to do there first? Anytime you get a negative question where you and they are involved, this is what I want you to do. I want you to answer with an omission, and I will explain this with some examples so you know exactly what I mean. It's the absence of something. There's something missing or it's not present. And the thing I want you to do automatically whenever you get a negative question is I want you to make it positive about you and a negative about them. So that omission is a negative about them. So what does that look like with a couple of these questions? So here's a question, and I grabbed these from the chat over last week. I think we did a couple of live shows where I saw these in the chat. So here's an example of what I mean. Why would you not take this job? So this is a negative question. Why would you not take it? So an omission is I would not take this if something is missing about you. Remember, you want to make it a positive about yourself and a negative about them. So what might an answer like this look like? Why would I not take the job? I would not take the job if I discover in the interviewing process that you are not customer service focused. So the positive about you is I'm customer service focused. If I find out you are not, meaning it's a negative about you, an omission about you, something is missing, and because something is missing, I'm not going to take this job. You follow me? So far, so good. Does that make sense? Right? It's a positive about you. You answered a negative question in a manner that's positive about you and negative about them. Now, you're not calling them negative. You were saying conditionally, I would not take this job if I discover this. It's not saying I'm calling you that. Make sense? Okay, so that's one example. Let's do a couple more because I think the examples really help illustrate this. Why should we not hire you? I mean, I think these questions are absolutely ridiculous, but I know you're going to get asked them, and all I care about isn't the ridiculous nature of these questions. I care about your health, well-being, and safety in your career. Okay, so why should we not hiring you? So following my formula of the omission, something missing, positive about you and negative about them. You should not hire me if there are not career opportunities for me to develop. Because I'm all about development. Because I'm all about skill building. A la my coach's new book, The Zebra Code. Right? So what is it? Positive about you and omission about them, meaning they do not have the career development opportunities. So you should not hire me because I would not be happy if that was absent. Automatic, right? They tap you on the knee, the foot goes up. This is exactly how I want you to think about every single one of these. Here's another one. This one I saw in the chat too. I mean, this is so funny. If we hire you and you come to work here, why would we fire you? Okay, a positive about you, a negative about them. If you hired me and I took this job, you will not fire me because of performance reasons, but it would probably be something along the lines of if I discovered that somebody in the company or on the team did something illegal, unethical, or anything of that nature, I would probably bring it to HR or to whatever the authorities are, and you would probably let me go because I'm that honest. You follow me? Why would we fire you? You'd fire me because I'm ethical. And if I discover that you're not, this would be the reason. Do you follow me? So any time there's any of these questions would go along those lines in this formula. All right? So you're answering it in the omission. It's not present. Something's missing. It's positive about you and negative about them. That's if they're involved. Okay, let's go through a couple of other ones. There's another scenario. What happens if you get a negative question, but it's only about you and they're not involved? This is a great opportunity for you to score some points. Okay, so what do I mean? You want to think about, I think that's right. Hang on. You want to answer in an omission, but they can fix it or they can fill it. So they're asking you a negative question, but it only includes you or your job, your current job or past job or current job or past company or current company. They're asking about you, not them. So it has nothing to do with them. And they're saying, what I want you to do is I want you to think about if it's about you only, you want them to be your savior. So what does that look like? What did you not like about your most recent job? What do you not like about your current job? What do you not like about your current company? Right? This has nothing to do with the new employer. It has everything to do with the old employer. So what you want here is, again, an omission, something that was missing that they can now fix. So in my most recent role, I didn't have as much customer contact as I would have liked. I would have rather worked more directly with customers. One of the reasons I'm so excited to work with you is because your role that I'm interviewing for has a high degree of client contact, high degree of customer contact. You can fix it for me. Or I didn't like the fact that I only got to work in the central region. Your opportunity gives me a chance to expand my geographical territory, work for half the nation, all the country, globally, whatever it is. But you want to make absolutely certain it's something they can fix because you want to grab all the points you possibly can. Okay? So what didn't you like about your most recent job or company? Here's another one. Just another example. We'll kind of round out the talk with this. What will you miss the most? Whenever it's something like this, where you're missing something, it's singular in nature. You want to answer with a one-of-a-kind response, but also turn to them and also make it so that they're going to fix it or at a minimum, give you an opportunity to improve, grow, or whatever. So as an example, what will you miss the most? You want to say something that is absolutely, there's no way, no how that they would be missing it as well. What's the best answer here? I'll miss the people. I'll miss the people I get to work with. I'll miss my teammates. I'll miss my customers. I'll miss my partners. I'll miss something that is irreplaceable. So there's nothing that they need to worry about. And then what you want to say is, but while I'll miss the people, again, can they do something to help you with that? But I'm really excited about meeting a lot of the folks here because it looks like you have a lot of great people with a lot of great backgrounds. And I was able to tell that by the videos of the employees I watched on your website. or the video I saw where, something about your culture, anything that you then can turn to and say positively about them. So they asked you about something negative that you were going to, or in this case, really something more neutral, but that you were going to miss, but you never want to say anything that they cannot satiate as well. Makes sense? So when you are looking at all of these different options, the default line of thinking is anytime you get asked a negative question, whether it's you and them or whether it's only you, you want to answer it with an omission. You want to make it positive about yourself. If it's something that they're involved with, you want to make it a negative about them. Or if it's something that they're not involved with, you want to make it something that they can fix. This works for everything. Every negative question that you get asked should be answered in an omission. What's another great one? What's your greatest weakness? My greatest weakness is I haven't developed the skills to what? Something you have not yet done. So it's an absence, it's an omission, it's not there. And so this applies to anything along these lines. Okay, so I think these tricky negative interview questions can all be asked this way. Now, if you're here with me live, we're wrapping it here. We're going to go to the Q&A, and I'll take some of your tricky interview questions as well. If you're watching this on the recording, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next week. If you did enjoy it, make sure to click the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the station. Lots of luck in your search.